All right, it's 3:02, and we may still have a few more pop in as we go along, but I think that's okay. I think they can just kind of jump in and meet us where we're at. And in the interest of your time and our time, I think we'll go ahead and get this thing going. Um, Welcome. I am Lauren Donnell, and it's nice to see you all here. I know that some of you are joining us from the last meeting that we had, and a few of you are new names and new faces, but that's okay. That was the original intent, and that's the way we wanted it to go. We kind of wanted this idea to get out there in the community and spark further interest and pull folks in from all these different organizations and agencies and community groups as we go along and find out that there are other people that want to kind of join us on this journey. Just to give a really brief recap of what we're doing. So we are a team of health equity specialists. I've got 4 of them on the line today, and we'll be letting them introduce themselves and their areas of focus later on. But I am the health equity supervisor, and we work for Tarrant County Public Health in the Health Equity and Community Engagement Division. And we have been charged by the CDC to convene the Tarrant County Unity Council, which is why we're all here today. And what the Unity Council is going to do is oversee the development, implementation, and evaluation of a health equity plan for Tarrant County. Ideally, this plan will have a focus on racial equity. Uh, Unfortunately, it took the COVID-19 pandemic to kind of really shed a spotlight on the disproportionate impacts of the pandemic on our communities of color. And I think that while most of us realize that those disproportional health impacts already existed, unfortunately, it took the government a little bit longer to get on board with planning and funding to address those issues. But they did, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to make sure that in the future, if we have a major health emergency or health crisis, that those folks don't get left behind when we're making our efforts as a health department, as a community, as a county to address what's happening. So thank you all for being here. If you want some more in-depth information on our purpose and planning and where we're going with this, please feel free to contact me, and we'll be happy to meet with you or communicate with you a little bit further and get deeper into what we're doing with this Unity Council. But again, for purposes of time, let's go ahead and get started on our agenda items. I think we're going to have a fun kind of light meeting today. We have scheduled this for 3 to 4:30, but I'm thinking that we may actually be able to give you a little bit of that time back. We're probably not going to need to use the whole hour and a half. So yay for anybody that's got a busy afternoon. What we want to do is we want to get your ideas and your thoughts so that we can create a vision and mission statement for this plan that'll guide the direction that we're all wanting to go. So we want to do a fun interactive activity to gather your input, and then myself and my health equity specialist team will take that information and we'll go behind the scenes and we'll compile it all together to mock up some options, and then we'll send it out to you guys, and you guys can vote on what you actually want to use so that we can include that in our final plan document. Without further ado, what you're seeing on my screen is a web-based application called Padlet. I think it's really neat and really fun. So what I'm going to do is allow you guys to interact with me. And there's two ways you can interact. The first way is you can use your smartphone and turn your camera on. I'm going to post a QR code onto the screen, and you can use that QR code to make responses through your phone, and they'll pop up on the screen for everyone to see. Or in the chat, I am pasting a link. So if you want to, you can also just click the link that's there in the chat, and my screen should come up on your monitor on your computer, and you can also interact that way. So I'm going to put the QR code up now. I'm going to leave this up for about 15 seconds for anybody that would like to participate via smartphone. And then I'll take it down and tell you a little bit about how it works. Okay, if anybody still needs that QR code, Maggie, I see you over there in the chat with your Padlets and your heart. I was so excited when I discovered this. I think it's so fun. Obviously, I'm a little bit of a nerd for anybody that hasn't actually met me yet. Please forgive me. So what's going to happen is we've got these questions. You all may remember these questions from the meeting reminder that I sent out yesterday. And if you would like to contribute to any of these questions, you can do one, you can do more than one, you can do more than one answer to a question. You just hit this little plus mark wherever you want to go. And it's going to bring up this, if you can see this on my screen. And I mean, it's up to you how far you want to take it, but you can upload a document, you can share a picture or a link to a different website, or you can just write something. So you can title it with a subject, like, let's see, Equitable Tarrant County. And then what would that look like to me? It would look like equal access to services for everyone. And then if you want to get really fancy, you can call attention to yourself by changing your color. And then you hit this publish button and boom, it comes up. You'll notice that my name isn't on here anywhere, so it's anonymous. Nobody's going to know that you posted the idea, so there doesn't have to be there's no concerns about, oh, everybody's going to think my idea is silly or I'm saying the wrong thing. There are no wrong answers, and nobody will know it was you anyway. So please share freely. I'm going to leave this open either until I see things slow down on their own or until we can't take it anymore. Let's try and do it for about 3 or 4 minutes, and y'all just kind of rapid fire throw your ideas up there. If you see something that somebody else wrote and you really like it, you can heart it. If you want to comment because it makes you think of something, feel free to get on here and add a comment. You know, oh, that does identify you, so just so everyone knows. I don't want anybody to be surprised. Anyway, the idea is that you guys can put your thoughts and your ideas here. You can answer these questions, and then we'll close this out. We'll move on to the next agenda item, and the team will take these after the meeting's over, and we'll put things together and generate mission and vision statements from it. And like I said, then we'll spit them back out to you guys for your approval and your thoughts. All right. Look at y'all. I'm so excited. Yay. Great job. Seeing a lot of answers over here on the ultimate impact that this plan should have on your organization. So as a reminder to everybody that's joining us today for the first time, another big piece of this puzzle is that although the end game is to create an overarching equity plan for Tarrant County, We also want you all to examine your own internal policies and procedures in your organizations. And if you don't already have some sort of equity plan for your organization, we're asking that you look at those things and that you think about changing those things and making a plan for yourselves as well. Awesome. I think I've got to tell you guys, I'm really surprised that there's so much interaction on planning for the organization versus planning on the community, although I'm seeing some there too. I think that just me personally, it's always easier for me, and this is just the way my mind works, for me to think from a community perspective as opposed to an organizational perspective. And hopefully my boss won't hold this against me, but that may just be because I work for the county and it's more of a crazy bureaucratic system. So maybe change just seems a little harder for me from that perspective. I love this. I love this. Serve as a guide on how best to support nonprofits working on health inequities. Exactly. That's the ultimate impact on organizations. That's the intent. So we know that there are some people that are really ahead of the game here in Tarrant County. They already have whole departments devoted to diversity, equity, inclusion, or we have the city of Arlington and the city of Fort Worth that have already created equity plans. They have whole departments devoted to these things. And we don't want to recreate the wheel. We want to work with everyone. We want to see where our plan can fit in with other plans to support the work they're already doing or to add on and make it that much greater. And we definitely, for the places that don't already have something in place, that's what we want to be. We want to be a roadmap. We want to be a guide. We want to assist other people with taking these steps. These are great answers, y'all. Ultimate impact on the community. It would help create access to the underserved communities. It would also encourage collaboration and partnerships in our community. Yes, perfect. Interact with community members and organizations. It should be finding ways to reach out to community members and organizations to figure out what they need or hope to get from the plan. We 100% agree. We're also going to touch on that a little bit later about some conversations that I've been having with the team about going out in the community and meeting some of you all face to face and checking out your organizations and kind of gauging your feelings about maybe doing some in-person meetings as a group and really facilitating the networking and the partnerships and the community and holding some town hall meetings so we can get out there and talk to residents that aren't directly involved in the council. We know that their input and their feedback is so important. Love that. Equitable Tarrant County, what would it look like to you? Improved quality of life for all citizens. Definitely. Equitable access to high quality education. Yup. Healthy food, healthcare, education, and work. Mixed income neighborhoods. That is so cool. That is so good. I don't know why, but over this past weekend, I just happened to be reading some really good articles touching on different pieces of what's been going on with housing, especially in the state of Texas and DFW. I read a really interesting thing about some stuff that's been going on in Austin and Travis County. And I definitely think that the concept of mixed income neighborhoods is really key. It's really good. Okay, I feel like you guys have given us a lot to work with. Thank you so much for your participation and enthusiasm. It's hard for me to look at cameras while I'm also doing this sort of thing, but I'm gonna glance over at the cameras for just a minute for anybody that's got them on. Give me like a thumbs up or a big smile if you're nerdy like me and you liked this Padlet feature. What do y'all think? Is this a good feature for interaction? Yeah. Thank y'all. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away. I'm going to minimize it on my screen. I see you guys over here in the chat too, that you guys like this. Awesome. And just so you know, I came across it one day when I was looking up interactive activities, ideas that you can do for meetings, and came across this and knew that I wanted to utilize it somehow. As with everything these days, there's like the paid version and the free version. This is the free version, so you're seeing what it can do, absolutely free of charge. You can have up to 3 Padlet boards without paying for anything, and you can delete them and start all over, or you can keep them. So I encourage you guys, if you want to check it out and have something a little different, definitely do so. It's really neat. For now, like I said, I'm going to minimize this on my screen, but it's not going to go away for you all. You still have the link. You can continue to add things. You can come back to it later if you have an idea. Whatever you want to do. I'm not going to delete this board. It'll stay here for y'all. So thank you again for your participation. And next up, we're going to look at the logo and see what you guys think about that. So on your screen, you should be able to see the logo that we've suggested. The team put this together one day. We were talking about needing something to attach to documents, to our plan, to our website, all of those little places that we need some branding, that we need something that will set us apart and identify us easily. So we came up with this. Everybody kind of bounced it back and forth, and now we kind of want to open it up to you guys and see what y'all think. Constructive criticism, negative feedback is totally okay. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. We're very flexible and definitely open to suggestions and ideas. So if you guys want to tell us to scrap it and throw it away and start all over, we can do that. It's okay. Not going to hurt our feelings. We just kind of wanted to have something to work with as a starting point. So I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to allow anybody that wants to unmute and speak up to do so. If you've got comments in the chat, I can see that you guys have already been going with that. Let's see, look down. This is awesome. Love, really like the logo. Oh, Emily Spence, I would buy this on a t-shirt. I feel like that's really high praise. Awesome, wonderful. I want to give a shout out to my health equity specialists. They're the ones that really came up with this one morning, and I was impressed with them. I thought it was a pretty cool logo. I really like it. Charles said, I agree. I would like to see this continue to be used. Wonderful. I'm seeing a lot of positive things. Donna said, love the logo, maybe a different set of colors. All right, Donna. All right, we can definitely get with that. Have you got any ideas or suggestions for colors we could try? We could definitely change that up a little bit and then send that out to you all with some different colors or different looks. Get some feedback that way. Maybe we could put it out for a vote. Everybody could just get on and vote. Yeah, Dietrich said it does show equity. That's kind of what we were going for a little bit. Kind of looks like a side view of a person. I'm not really sure if that is what it is, but that's what it kind of reminds me of, right? Like somebody like this, like they're kind of in motion. Side profile. I like the colors, different skin tones. That's kind of what we were going for, but it is pretty obvious too. So sometimes, sometimes obvious is good. Sometimes it's better to be a little bit more understated. Definitely up to you guys. Tell you what, Donna, I'm going to reach out to you after the meeting, and I'm going to ask you for if there's any colors that you might like, because I do want to give you a shot. It's kind of easy to look at the thing that's in front of us and say that we like it, but if we had something right beside it in different colors, then people may actually kind of, go that way. So we can always distribute this out and take a little vote. So I'll get with you afterwards and see if you have any color suggestions, and we can easily mock it up that way and kind of get everybody's feedback and see what we want to decide on for the final product. Yeah, Bethany, you said I viewed it as people raising hands and speaking up. I like that. I like that. Yeah, definitely see it going that way. All right. I think that we'll move on to the next thing then. We'll call this good. Like I said, I'll get Donna, we'll get some color suggestions and kind of send it out. Julia said LGBTQ plus might also be something to think about including. I do like the colors currently. So we'll see. We'll play with the colors a little bit. We'll send this one and a couple of other options out, and then you guys can get back to us on your time. Maybe do a little ranking, and then we will unveil your final decision at our next meeting, the next time we're together. Monroe said, can the arms and hands be the same length as the bodies? Monroe, that's a good question. I will put that one to my team and see what they can come up with. And if they can be made to be the same length, then we will send that out as an option as well. I kind of see what you're saying. It would kind of tighten everything up a little bit and make it more symmetrical without the pieces coming out. We can give it a try. Can definitely give it a try. Okay, thank you guys for your feedback on that. It is appreciated. We are moving right along. So without further ado, I want to turn it over for just a minute to my health equity specialist team that's with us today. I want to preface their introduction by saying that we are short one person. His name is Nikos Elzy. Some of you may have already had some communication with Nikos. He is over our transportation sector, that area of focus, and so he'll be heading up that committee. They will be meeting in April. He is still getting feedback from people. I know that he has some in-person meetings set up with some of you to meet with on a more individual basis, and as he fleshes out everyone's schedule needs, he'll be sending out another communication with a meeting invite for a meeting later in April for the Transportation Committee. You'll see here that we wanted to touch on those additional areas of focus. In the email I sent out yesterday, we let y'all know that we had identified 3 additional areas. So policing and criminal justice will be one, and Nikos will also be heading up that committee in addition to the Transportation Committee. So you'll be hearing from him to gauge your interest in that arena as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Tanya. She's the first person I see on my camera row over here. So Tanya, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you'll be doing, that would be great.
Thank you, Lauren. Hi, my name is Tanya, and I am a health equity specialist. The sector that I am over will be health. Um, our first meeting should take place sometime in April. I'm looking at maybe the second or third week of April, only because I'm waiting back to hear from a couple of people. But yes, I see some of the people here actually have reached back out to me. But yes, I am over health, and I should be seeing a lot of you guys soon, virtually, when I do my committee meeting in April. Thank you.
All right, Kylie, you are next up.
Thank you, Lauren. Hi, guys. I'm Kylie Brooks. I'll be over the Housing Committee as well as the Economic Development Committee. Right now, our Housing Committee meetings are scheduled to be the second Wednesday of every month at 2 o'clock. So our next meeting, our first meeting, excuse me, will be April 13th from 2 to 3. And if you're interested in joining that meeting, please feel free to reach out to me directly or just click on this same link, the TCUC link, and we'll be there Wednesday, April 13th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Kylie. And Tanisha.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tanisha Stanford, and I will be heading the Communication Committee as well as the Education Committee. So, we will be having our first Communication Committee meeting on April the 18th, which is a Monday. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So, again, if anybody is interested in being a part of the Communication or Education Committee, please reach out and we'll be happy to have you. Thanks.
Thanks, Tanisha. We have one more health equity specialist, our fifth member of our team, and she is with us today. Ms. Barbara Young, if you could introduce yourself right quick.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Barbara Young. I'm a health equity specialist here. My focus is going to be internal policies with TCPH.
Thank you, Barbara. So as our team noted, you guys have probably already been receiving these regular communications from them where they've been reaching out to gauge your interest in those areas of transportation, communication, health, and housing. And you can look forward to hearing more about education, criminal justice and policing, and economic development. But I also wanted to take a minute because Barbara is a crucial part of our team. Though you may not see her as often, she's not as public facing as our other specialists are. She's playing a vital role for us because everything that we are asking you all to do in your organizations and your agencies and out in the community, we're also looking inward and going through those processes ourselves. So as Barbara noted, she's looking hard at all of our internal policies here at Tarrant County Public Health and identifying those ways that we can either make existing policy more equitable or where we might need to create new policies to address issues that have been identified that haven't previously been dealt with before. So Barbara is really important to us, and she also provides a lot of help and assistance and backup to the rest of our team as they are going out and helping you guys. So without further ado, I also want to talk a little bit about organizational assistance. We touched on that at the last meeting, but it seems like there may be a little bit of confusion. I know that as some of the team has reached out to you guys, there have been some questions or, just a little bit of uncertainty around what that assistance could look like. So what we want to offer is help. As previously noted, we know that some of you guys are already doing this work. Some of you have departments or divisions that are dedicated to doing this work. So you may not need assistance, but we also know that we've got some nonprofits, we've got some grassroots agencies, or maybe even big organizations that just haven't really gone in this direction yet. So what we can offer is our health equity specialists coming to your organization and helping you review your policies, analyze your policies, and identify those places where you may need to make adjustments or create new policies to make your work environments or your organizations more equitable, not only for the community that you serve, but also internally for your own employees and colleagues and things like that going forward. So if you need assistance, if you would like assistance, this is a service that we're offering to all of you free of charge. Please feel free to reach out to me or to any of the specialists. You can also talk with them further about this at their committee meetings, and they can give you more in-depth information then. But we're here to serve, we're here to give back. So let us know if you would like that. Feel free to use us and abuse us. We're here for you. So we would love to help if you need that. Anybody have any questions on that particular subject, or any questions for our specialists? Is there anybody that feels like maybe they've been left out of the conversation a little bit, or we're hoping that they would be notified for one of these committee meetings and haven't heard from someone? I noticed that Charles said, what was the date for the communications and education meeting again? Thank you. So I think that Tanisha can get back to you. She said the communication meeting is April 18th. Nothing has been scheduled yet for education. So, and I think, Tanisha, didn't you say that was April 18th? Was that at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.?
Yes, 10 a.m.
10
to
a.m.
11 a.m.
Perfect. And Charles, I have your contact information, so we can also follow up with you after the meeting and make sure that you get added to the list and get a meeting calendar invite for that meeting as well. If there's anybody else that has anything that they're unsure of, guys can definitely feel free to add it in the chat like Charles did, or as previously mentioned, just reach out to me or any of the team and we can help you out after the meeting. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've got coming up in the future. I know that I'm really excited, and I hope that you guys will be excited too. We've talked about those committee meetings that are coming up, but we've also finalized some training events that we're happy to provide. Again, free of charge. This is something that we want to give back to the community as a way of saying thank you for the work that you guys are putting in to help us create this plan. I believe, yes, she is on our meeting today, Miss Jeanette Johnson. If anybody can see the cameras, Jeanette, will you give us a little wave? She heads up all things training for all of us here at Tarrant County, and she is amazing at what she does. So my supervisor, Dr. Wingate, and I have been working with Jeanette to get these things going and get this schedule arranged, and we're really excited because we've got some really good workshops to offer you guys for the month of April. What you're seeing on my screen right now is a flyer that, yes, Shelly just said, can we get a copy of this flyer? I know several people who would be interested. Absolutely. I'm going to email this out to you guys. I just kind of want to touch on some of the highlights. We are asking that you all attend these events, as many as you can, as they are happening on those dates at those times so that you can participate live. But we're also going to be able to record these meetings and send the links out so that people can also participate on demand. Obviously, with this kind of training and this kind of information, a live meeting, being able to interact with the facilitator of the training as well as with the folks that are in the training with you, you're going to get maximum benefit that way. I'm a firm believer that we learn best from each other, from the dialogue that we have with each other. And I definitely think that when we're talking about matters of race and equity, it's so good. It's so good to hear those other perspectives and to hear feedback whenever maybe you share something, and to hear how somebody else perceives it and what they think of it. And that can totally change minds and hearts, just knowing how your message is received by someone else, and also just being able to hear and receive what other people are sharing and what they're saying. So we really encourage live participation with cameras on and speaking and talking and things like that. But we know that that doesn't always work out for schedules. It doesn't always work out for timing. So we are really excited that we're also able to offer these trainings on demand. Friday, April 8th, you see right here on your screen, we want to kick it off with Bigger Than Racism, Understanding Racialization and Structural Advantage. Personally, I think that's really cool that we're starting with that because everybody needs to go forth with this equity planning, knowing that we're going to be rooted in very much an anti-racist stance, right? We want to be familiar with those concepts of structural oppression and how we can plan from the ground up with our equity planning, especially at our organizational levels, to make sure that we're being inclusive, to make sure that things like hiring practices, policies, that all of those things are grounded in an anti-racist point of view. Then we're going to go later in the month, we're going to look at a two-part series on operationalizing, sorry, that's a hard one for me. I'm just not, sorry. Health equity, parts 1 and 2. Again, we encourage you guys to attend live and to attend both parts. If you can't, if you can do one but not the other, that's okay. We're going to record it. So come and do what you can. The next set at the end of the month on the 22nd and the 25th, measure, monitor, and manage health equity. Again, parts 1 and 2. Same thing. We encourage live participation, but we're going to take you however we can get you. We can offer this to not just yourselves, but up to 5 people from your organizations if you would like for them to come and participate. The idea is for the people in your agency and your organization that are going to be doing this work or going to be having influence over this work, people that are your policy creators, or maybe just the people that are working directly under these policies and might be able to provide really useful feedback to the policy creators. Those are the people that we want to see at these trainings. These are the people that need to know this stuff so that when you're meeting at the committee level and you're developing these goals and these strategies and these plans, that we know what we're doing, we know what we want to include, we know what we want the point of view to be, we know what kind of framework that we want to work within. So I think that these are going to be really useful to you all. We're really excited to offer it. There's going to be materials, there's going to be templates that we can use in our planning, there's going to be things that you can take back to your organizations and use at your planning for your level of work that you're doing there. So really excited. Yay, Maggie, she says, so excited about this. And agree with Shelley, we can share this out. Definitely. Please share. Please do. And we're going to look forward to seeing you guys, hopefully at all 5 of these sessions in April, but if not all 5, as many as you are able to make. And we'll be available for any kind of further questions or concerns that you may have related to this series. Again, just give us a call or send us an email and we can give you some more information about this. So, any questions about these workshops?
Lauren,
All
I just
right.
want to say yes, for these particular workshops, everyone, during the month of April, this is setting the foundation. What's going to happen is in the months that we'll see afterwards, we won't have as many training opportunities, but these particular trainings for the month of April are going to replace the upcoming Tarrant County Unity Council meeting for the month of April so that we can actually get your participation during the month of April. So just keep that in mind. The subcommittee meetings will be meeting during the month of April, but we will not have a Tarrant County Unity Council. We will reconvene after we've all been trained and gained some really good knowledge the following month in May. In May, we will offer more training opportunities around different topics and subjects that are related to the work, but there won't be as many. We could have up to two training opportunities per month, and it depends on how we're able to fashion it in maybe two, maybe three, just depends on the month. But the goal is to have at least two training opportunities, and we'll still have the Unity Council meetings every month along with your subcommittee. So you'll have a variety of opportunities on how you can participate and how you can include your staff in that process.
Thank you, Dr. Wingate. That was really helpful. We have a couple of questions in the chat. Mr. Johnson asked, who are the facilitators of the workshop? So I feel like I'm putting Jeanette on the spot with that one, but she may be able to tell us. Jeanette, can you tell us that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So excited to offer this training through our Tarrant County Management Development Institute. And for the first 5 sessions, we will have James Bird Guest, who is the founder of Racial Equity Group. And this is kind of in his wheelhouse. This is his expertise. And so he's going to take you through the process of creating that foundation. You'll be doing SWOT analysis as it relates to health equity. And he'll be helping you kind of create that shared understanding so that you're able to kind of move forward with the work that you're doing. After the first 5 sessions, we will transition into a mix of leadership development courses that will help you as managers and leaders in your organizations work with your teams to do this work. So I would encourage you to start the planning process, put it on your calendars. We'll have some dates that actually take us through, I believe Dr. Wingate said April of 2023. So we'll be having regular ongoing trainings that will include DEI, but it will also have a lot of leadership development, a lot of communication, teamwork, managing others. So we'll cover the full gamut. And his name is James Bird Guest.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeanette. And Dr. Wingate did add his name and organization to the chat for anybody that can't see that, or for anybody that also woke up with an ear infection this morning and can't hear it clearly. Bird, BIRD, is the middle name, and then Guess, GUESS, as the last name, first name James. So James Bird Guess. And he is with the Racial Equity Group, if anybody would like to check him out and dive a little further. Bethany had another question in the chat to confirm. Are these for organizations represented in this group or for anyone in Tarrant County? So Bethany, they are definitely for organizations represented in this group. As far as for anyone in Tarrant County, I think give us some time to talk that over and decide what that would look like. I know that this is very new. We just got this schedule finalized and ready to release to you guys earlier today. So if you can give us a little bit of time, for me to talk with Jeanette and Dr. Wingate about what the maximum participant limit for these sessions may look like, then I can answer that and go a little further and give you guys some more information. So think that's probably as far as I could take that question right now, unless Jeanette or Dr. Wingate know a little bit more about that.
If Lauren, if you don't mind, Dr. Wingate, let me share just a little bit. I know that the trainings, we are really planning to customize it for this group and your organizations. So I don't know if Lauren and Dr. Wingate plan for us to expend it, just extend the training to just anyone in the organization. We want to make sure that it is targeted and customized specifically for your needs and your organization's needs. But we can certainly clarify that later if we need to.
Thank you, Jeanette. I think that's helpful, and I think that that really kind of helps me with where my head was at, because my thinking is we know that as we go along, there may be folks that reach out to us and say, "Hey, we noticed that you didn't have anybody from this community group or this agency at the table and working on this planning." And while we are still in these developmental stages, we are definitely open to you all and your suggestions and your thoughts of who we need to include. We do want to be inclusive, and we do want those folks at the table that are doing the work in the community. We feel like that's really important. So we don't want to exclude people in that matter, but as Jeanette clarified, we definitely want folks that are going to either be working on this plan or working in your organizations to create plan or change policy at the organizational level. Lynetta asked, did I understand correctly that we're able to include 5 people from our organization? Yes, Lynetta, as I said in the chat, but also just to clarify again that please don't just make it a random 5 people. We definitely want it to be 5 people that would be interested in this work or that are going to be touching on this work for your organization. Veronica said, I might have missed this. Are all of these trainings virtual? Yes, ma'am, they are. So they can be accessed virtually, kind of like through a Zoom link, I'm assuming, probably, as they're happening, or again, we'll have a meeting recording that can be shared afterwards outside of that once the live presentation has been completed.
Hey, Lauren, let me jump in for a second. So the trainings for April are definitely virtual. As we continue to go throughout the year, there may be opportunities for some in-person trainings depending on how we move through the pandemic as it's hopefully coming to an end. So maybe at the end of the summer or the beginning of the fall, maybe at the spring, we could potentially have in person. So we want to just make those an option. And then also, we will be able to make these trainings available to members of the community. So just again, as Lauren had mentioned, it will be available to your organization, but we want to make sure, and just as y'all were saying in the beginning, creating, when y'all were adding information to the vision and the potential mission of this group, that we have to make sure that we're including those for whom we're serving. So we will make opportunities for the information to be shared with them. They can participate, but if they're unable to participate, we'll make it available for them to be able to learn from it and be a part of the trainings too.
Thank you for that, Dr. Wingate. I feel like that's definitely an important piece that we hadn't touched on that's really critical, is we don't want to close out or leave out or exclude anybody that's out there in the county, especially our regular community members, our residents, that are interested in any of these topics or interested in doing this work or just want to lend their voice to what we're doing and their input. Definitely want those folks to be included. Thank you. All right. Not seeing any more questions in the chat. I do want to go ahead and reiterate that even after this meeting ends, that if anybody has any follow-up questions or you think of something when you're laying in bed tonight, please always feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. The same thing goes for Dr. Wingate or any of the health equity specialists on the team. We love interacting with you. We love hearing from you. We're looking forward as time goes on to meeting some of you face to face. I don't know about you all, but talking to my camera on my computer, I am definitely ready to get out there and see some folks and talk to some folks. Um, Dr. Wingate just put her email address in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and add mine, but I feel like you guys probably have seen mine enough by now that you've got it memorized. If you don't, I just added mine to the chat as well. Um, think that is all that we really had for you guys today. So I'm going to turn it over to y'all for a second and see if anybody has anything they would like to say or they would like to add. And if not, it looks like we'll be able to make good on our promise to give you some time back in your afternoon. All right. I'm going to do a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. All right. So long and farewell. Thank you guys for coming. It was good to see your beautiful faces. Excited to continue the work, Lynetta. Absolutely. And I hope to see y'all at the workshops next month, and we can really get this party started. Thank y'all. Have a great day.